Hello dear students, today we are going to discuss about most familiar term for you. What is that? Petroleum. Already we discussed about coal, isn't it? Coal and petroleum were the examples for fossil fuels, and now we are going to discuss about petroleum. So you are very familiar with the term petroleum, and you are more familiar with the word petrol more than petroleum, isn't it? It's an essential fuel for us. For what? It is an essential fuel for our automobiles, the vehicles we are using, either it is two-wheeler or four-wheeler. If it is a heavy vehicle, we will be using diesel as a fuel, isn't it? In heavy buses or like the trucks, we will be using diesel. So these two, petrol and diesel, these two come from the same thing, that is petroleum, or you know what is crude oil. So petroleum have many constituents like petrol, diesel, it have many other constituents too. Now let us go to the section how petroleum was formed. See, I told the story of the formation of coal. As like that, there is a formation story for petroleum also. You know, most of the areas under the sea nowadays was not under the sea for a time before. A former time it was not under the sea. So there were many plants and animals living in that area. So what happens when the sea covered that area? They all got buried under the sea. Sea water, that is under the soil, under the sea. Under the sea and under the soil, under the sea water. And also there are many organisms that are living in the sea. Like fishes, there are many organisms living in the sea. These animals too got buried under the soil, under the sea. And due to high temperature and high pressure, when we go deep inside the sea, that means under the soil of the sea, due to high temperature and high pressure, these solid things got converted into a liquid form. That liquid form is petroleum. Hope you understood. The organisms that were living in the sea and the former organisms that were living in that region where the sea nowadays is going through. So they got buried under the soil, under the sea, and due to high temperature and high pressure, they are changed, they form into a new one, that is petroleum. See, in the word petroleum, here we have two words, petra and oleum. Petra and oleum. We can make them into two words. That is how petroleum comes. Petra means rock and oleum means oil. Rock oil. Mainly it is found under the rocks in the sea. So that is why it got the name petroleum. The rock oil. Okay. Now, so under the sea there will be, so let it be a rock under the sea. So now there will be petroleum products here. So there will be oil here. Oil in this region. So here there will be water and here there will be some gas filled in with. So this rock consists of, or the area under the sea consists of water, oil and gas. Always oil is found above the water. Why oil is found above the water? Even when you are pouring some drops of oil into the water, they are floating in the water, isn't it? When you pour one or two drops of oil into the water, they are floating in the water. And maybe you have seen in some rainy seasons, or sometimes if some petroleum leakage is for vehicles, you can see a rainbow formation in the water, isn't it? They'll be floating above the water and it gives us the colors of rainbow. That is very beautiful thing. Maybe you all noticed this thing. So always oil float above the water. Oil is having very less weight. It is light in weight, therefore it float above the water. So you can expect a question, why oil is always found above the water? So that's the answer. Oil is lighter in weight, that's why it is standing or it is floating above the water. And now there will be gas also. Along with the oil, there will be gas also. So this oil is petroleum, and we will take this petroleum by different mechanisms. And they are brought into a petroleum refinery. So what is refinery? I told that petroleum consists of petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, such like many constituents it consists of. These constituents are separated. They are made into, so if we get a 1 barrel of petroleum, we will make them into different separate barrels. One for petrol, one for diesel, one for lubricating oil, such like that. And the process of separating the constituents of a petroleum is called refining of petroleum. And this refining of petroleum is conducted in a petroleum refinery. The place where refining of petroleum is conducted is called petroleum refinery. You know, the world's first drilling of petroleum that held in Pennsylvania in USA. And in India also there are many petroleum mines are there, petroleum drill stations are there. It's located in mostly in the northern states and in the Krishna Godavari river deltas also, river basins also. So our petroleum, we too have the petroleum bases as like other foreign countries. Mostly we tell that it's the Middle East, the area of petrol. Not only Middle East, we India also have this petroleum. And due to its high expensive cost and also many uses, it got another name. It's also known as black gold. Petroleum is also known as black gold. So I will be discussing more about this petroleum in the coming sections. Okay, thank you for listening. Have a nice day.